Welcome to S&M Radio. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Mark.
So this episode we are talking about, which is a little bit of an oddity for the two of us, we're talking about a newer movie. This movie came out last year. I can't find a definitive release date for the U.S. on this movie, but I know it was initially released in Germany in August of 2014, and this is a movie that is titled Kristy.
And it's also, I just found out, apparently it's not rated. I think you and I had talked about, we thought it got an R rating, but according to the IMDb, there is no rating on this movie.
Oh, yeah, because we were just talking about, I'd come across a post about saying that this movie should have only been rated PG-13, but it's a moot point if it was not rated at all.
I would give it an R, I think.
Oh, for sure.
I think it holds an R.
This movie kind of coincides with I guess this is going to probably end up being a yearly tradition on this show, a 3-month sort of holiday-themed episode. I guess our last movie, Friday the 13th, wasn't really holiday-related. Unless you're a horror fan, then I know a lot of horror fans consider Friday the 13th a holiday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to watch Friday the 13th movie on Friday the 13th.
But yeah, Kristy is actually sort of, kind of, in a way, a little bit a Thanksgiving movie.
It has its Thanksgiving-ish kind of tone to it.
Yeah, and
there's mashed potatoes and green bean casserole. There's a few scenes with that and some what's that called again? The cranberry that comes out of a can.
Oh yeah, the cranberry cocktail.
That's right.
Yeah, well, in this movie too this movie takes place over Thanksgiving break at the local college. I think it was Verse College, if I remember correctly. We won't really spoil this movie, or we'll try not to spoil this movie anyway. I would consider this more of a revenge story than a true horror story. But I know that a lot of times these revenge movies or exploitation movies with the revenge theme end up in the horror genre just by the nature of the movie itself. And this is like you had said just a minute ago, this is a fairly violent movie.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it definitely is.
When I got done watching it, I watched this a couple of weeks ago, and then I think as soon as I got done watching it, I think I sent you a text. I'm like, "Oh, I found our Thanksgiving episode."
Yep, yeah, you were pretty excited about it, and actually, it was kind of funny because I was scrolling through Netflix and it popped up a few times on my thing, and it was like, "Yeah, recommendation. You got to watch this." Yeah,
it was definitely an entertaining movie. I would have to say it's kind of like the modern day "I Spit on Your Grave." Without the rape.
Yeah, it does have kind of that sort of feel to it. It does seem a little bit, and they do call it a horror thriller, so it does have a little bit more of like a thriller aspect to it than just a straight up horror movie. The one thing I do like about this movie I thought was really good was I like the location. I thought that the college setting was very cool. It actually reminded me a whole lot of Halloween 2. With the hospital scenes, like where you had like the security guard and then all these long dark corridors throughout the hospital. It seemed like the hospital was practically abandoned in Halloween 2. And this movie kind of had that same feel where it was sort of, these dark hallways and corridors in this college, and and then there was a security guard who was kind of in charge of the front desk. So I thought, the location was great. The villains in this film, were there 3 of them, or were there 4?
4, because there was the girl or the head of the group, and then there was 3 different hooded guys that she interacted with.
Okay, so there were 3 guys.
Yep.
Okay,
so 3 guys and 1 girl.
Gotcha.
And the story of this movie is pretty simple. Like I said, because it is a relatively newer movie, we'll try not to do the typical S&M spoiler. We may give a little bit more away than we intend to. So
we'll try to keep the ending.
Just be forewarned. But the storyline of the movie is pretty simple. You have this college girl, Justine. she makes the decision that she is going to spend Thanksgiving break at the campus rather than go home for the break. And one of her, actually I shouldn't say one of her dorm mate at the college had originally said, sure, I'll stay with you over holiday break. So all the students leave. Her boyfriend doesn't want to go, but she's like, no, go without me. It's totally fine. I got the roommate. And then she goes back to her dorm room and her roommate's like, oh, sorry, I got to go. And so she ends up alone for Thanksgiving break. And like you had said, there is a security guard hanging out there at the front desk. And this doesn't give anything really away from the story too much, but she goes into town just to get away for a couple of minutes. She goes into the local convenience store to buy some things, and she runs into this girl wearing this hooded sweatshirt in the gas station or the convenience store, and the girl keeps referring to her as Kristy. They have this weird confrontation, and so she takes off and goes back to the school, and then you find out that this hooded girl, or this girl wearing this hooded sweatshirt, is with these three other guys, and they essentially follow her back to the college and torment her at the college. So I thought it was a very enjoyable movie. It was one of the things that I noticed when I did watch this movie, and we've talked about this on this show from time to time, is when you're watching a show at home, it's very easy to be distracted.
Oh, yeah.
When you're watching something at home. So I have recently been trying to make the conscious decision, if I am going to sit down and watch something either on the big screen TV or on my laptop or on my tablet or something, that I try to put my phone in the other room while I'm doing that. Otherwise, I tend to pick my phone up and check Facebook or, look at Instagram or check my email, blah, 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 while the movie's going on. And then there's a lot of times where I'll, even movies I haven't ever seen before, I'll be like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to watch that again sometime because I'm not sure what happened, or have to rewind it and be like, oh, okay, that's what happened. But with this one, I had my phone sitting right next to me, and when it was over, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't pick my phone up, I don't think, one time during that whole movie.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually, I've been doing that same thing, practicing that same thing too, because I remember growing up as a kid, I was a movie nut. And I would every time there was a movie that was on TV that I wanted to see, I'd always record it. And, and I actually got real good at cutting out all the commercials too. I was so good with I just was a movie fanatic. And, I would watch movies over and over again. I remember renting a movie. I'd watch it that night, then I'd watch it the next morning, and then I'd watch it maybe one more time in the afternoon before we took it back. And it's nowadays, because you're so inundated with media, it's so hard to just sit and focus on a movie unless you're at the movie theater. And I've been consciously doing that too. I've been keeping the phone away when I watch movies just so I can get my focus back. Because it's just, you get so, it's you want to see some, and that's the thing, because especially since, you and I have been doing so many older movies, the older movies aren't quite as fast paced. So it's hard to, because the way media is now, it's so constantly hitting you. And so you have to really kind of consciously set things aside to focus on the film so you get it. Now this movie too, I made sure to do the same thing. I kept my phone away, and actually I watched it nice and early this morning, so it was real quiet. I didn't have any human distractions either, and it definitely kept my attention. But that's one important thing I think about film, is that you gotta watch it undistracted, or you don't absorb it completely.
Exactly.
I think that's the one thing. I think film is, people just aren't focused on it as much as they used to be. I mean, I think our brains have been kind of switched over to where we need something fast and quick always kind of hitting us. So it's hard to, a lot of these older films are harder for people to absorb. Yeah, I think of some of the classic films, some of the ones we've talked about, like Halloween, or even Jaws. Nobody in 2015 is under the age of 15, 16 would ever be able to sit through those movies. I mean, because there's just not enough things popping out at them constantly. But one thing too with this film, we kind of forgot to mention. I think, am I correct that isn't it in the very opening they kind of have like a montage of death scenes, kind of based on these villains and kind of what they do?
Oh yeah. So that's one of the things I didn't really touch on earlier. I did mention when they were at the gas station that they did keep calling Justine Kristy.
Right.
And, it comes out later in the movie. Again, this isn't giving too much of the movie away, but, this is kind of the thing that is kind of like this cult thing across the country where these people pick out Kristy, even though if her name really isn't Kristy, and decide to, torture her. And then it comes out at the, later on that you're not led to believe that early on, but it does come out later on that this is not just happening at this one college. This happens out across the country, not just at colleges, just across the country in general. Which again doesn't give too much of the storyline away.
No, yeah, it was, and they have like kind of we have like an online or some sort of website that they use to kind of post these, their crimes, and there's like. Is it just them like in this network, or are other people kind of like watching this?
I don't know if it was just those, or if they had viewers, or.
I thought the pool scene was excellent, and the shower scene was like, I wasn't expecting that either. That was pretty cool. Yeah,
I would say all the kills in this movie are pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty raw. Seems like the modern movies too. They definitely get like the blood. Definitely get the blood right in terms of the color, because it like nowadays they use that dark blood, whatever that fake blood is, and that was all throughout this movie, and it just has a very realistic appearance compared to like the older classic films.
It's probably pig's blood.
Oh, it could be.
That's what we should start doing on the show, is just come up with random not true facts and just spout them off throughout the episode.
There you go.
Oh yeah, actually 4 people really died during the making of this movie.
Yeah, the security guy, he really died during that scene.
Yeah, the pumpkin pie killed him off, or it was the gallon of Mountain Dew he was drinking.
Yeah, the Mountain Dew did him in.
So one of the things I wanted to touch on real quick here today is, even though it'd be a little bit late when this comes out, it'd be a day or two late, but she is a favorite of this show. Today, November 22nd, is Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday today.
Oh, wow. Cool. Happy birthday, JLC.
So I figured,
awesome.
We pretty much talk about Halloween pretty much almost on every episode of this show. I don't think there's not too many S&M episodes that go by with Halloween not getting mentioned in some way or another. Yeah, so Jamie Lee Curtis turned, I think she turned 57 today.
57. Wow. Well, the closer we get to that, the younger that sounds. I used to think 40 and 50 was like really old. Now I'm starting to think like, wow, that's pretty young.
You know what we missed out on this weekend is there's a horror convention going on in Chicago. It's over now, but it was going on Friday and yesterday, I believe. Days of the Dead.
Ah, cool.
The topic of a couple episodes ago was one of the featured guests at that convention, Miss Cassandra Peterson. And
oh, nice.
I saw some pictures on her Facebook page just this morning of her at the convention. And when we were talking about how good looking she is for her age, we were not wrong.
Was she in the makeup?
No, not at all. She was just wearing, just her regular red hair and, just looking normal.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, and Jamie Lee Curtis, for being, 57 years old, she's not a bad looking woman.
Oh, no,
anymore.
not at all.
But I mean, she definitely looks more like a grandma than Cassandra Peterson does.
I bet. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, but happy birthday, Jamie Lee Curtis. I posted a picture to my Instagram earlier of Jamie Lee Curtis from the 1978 Halloween.
Very nice.
And actually, I think that's like my third or fourth picture I've posted of Jamie Lee Curtis. If you go back and I know we talked about this before on the show, but if you go back into like the early 80s with Jamie Lee Curtis, she was smoking hot.
Oh yeah.
And she was not afraid to show it in the movies either.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of her that was her time.
Yeah, I mean, I know like in Prom Night there's a scene where she's like running around with like a shirt, like button-down shirt that's like open and bras hanging out. And I believe that she actually even got nude in a couple of movies.
And you know her favorite role she ever did was True Lies.
Oh yeah. That's another one too where she flaunting around in her underwear.
Yeah.
And that one was in that would have been in the 90s.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've
probably like
never seen
90s.
that movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
Nope, never seen that movie.
Well, we do have. You're gonna share with everybody then some of the upcoming films we'll be tackling.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do that. So as I mentioned earlier, we're keeping our holiday theme going. I made a post on this on our Facebook page a couple of days ago. So our Thanksgiving movie this year is Kristy, of course. A little bit of a stretch to call it a Thanksgiving movie. I don't know if this will become one of those annual Thanksgiving viewings or not. There's not really a lot of Thanksgiving movies. I am glad to announce that nobody took our idea from last year about the whatever we were talking about, the horror pilgrim storyline or whatever we were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody took it yet.
No, nobody made that movie, so we can't review that one yet.
And we can't sue anybody either. That was what I was hoping for. I could use a little extra Christmas money.
So, but we got a couple of movies in the works, and actually I'll go ahead and talk about a couple of things. So me and Mark are going to go to see Krampus the weekend that it opens, December. We're actually going to go on December 6th, unless something falls through and we can't make it. And then we're planning on doing our first live side-by-side episode after we view the movie. Again, that's pending everything goes as expected. Then,
yeah, that will be a nice change of pace just to get a nice little live outing.
And then after that, we're gonna our next episode, which will be released probably pretty close to Christmas time, is another Christmas-themed horror movie, and that one will be Child's Play.
Yes, finally tackling it. I think that's one that that's one of the ones that still to this day it's like one of those franchises that continues to kind of limp along, and it's still and actually the last entry in that series was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of it was, but yeah, that came out like 3 years ago.
Curse. Yeah, Curse of Chucky.
And if I remember right too, that one was actually directed by the original director, if I remember right.
Actually, he is responsible for pretty much every single one of them. At least he definitely wrote all of them. And it's kind of a cool story. Whoever that guy is, I can't think of his name, but he wrote the original screenplay, and he was a nobody in Hollywood and got it sold, and then he held on to the rights to the characters and the franchise and all that. So every movie since then, he's done.
Oh,
so if you look at his internet movie database, look at his history or whatever, his career, all it is just Child's Play related movies.
So, and then finally, this will be, I think this is going to be the last episode that comes out before the Fakakta Comedy Funhouse podcasting network goes live. I believe that is going live the first week in December. doesn't really change anything how you'll be able to listen to the episodes. Once that comes out, that just gives us another outlet for the episodes. Back to Kristy. I'd say I give it a thumbs up. Like I said, I don't know if it'd be an annual viewing or anything, but it's definitely a movie I wouldn't. If somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna watch Kristy, you want to watch it?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely give it a thumbs up. It's definitely worth a watch. I'm not going to add it to my physical collection, but it's definitely a good early morning coffee, maybe a donut, horror viewing. So yep. I think we both agree on this one again.
Cool. All right, everybody. So until next time, keep trucking on, and let's see here. We won't see you till December, so happy Turkey Day, I guess.
Yeah, enjoy your turkeys.